What exactly is a maid cafe? I mean, how does the presence of the maid make it any different from any other cosplay cafe? Is it the power dynamic? The false companionship? The uniform? How does the Moe Moe Kyun make that much of a difference that the maid cafes rocketed in popularity in Akihabara and even spread into global markets? How'd they get such a stranglehold in otaku culture? Was it good marketing and location? Maybe. But let's imagine a more fun answer, shall we? One that's a lot less corporate, a lot more moe, and a hell of a lot more violent. I want you to imagine with me for a second. What if The Godfather was good? Okay, so editing arc here. Those 2 minutes took like 3 hours to do. It's crazy. Actually, I'm not kidding when I say it took 3 hours. That was like sourcing clips, getting things to like move in the timeline where I wanted them to. After this, it's way simpler. I got Stardew Valley up. If you want to watch fucking some gameplay while we yap, or you can just throw me on in the background. I don't mind. But enjoy the rest of the video. Akiba Maid War is an anime series produced by Cygames and PA Works in late 2022. Set in 1999, the story follows Nagomi, a 17-year-old girl whose dream is to work in a maid cafe, as she moves to Akihabara to work in the pig-themed Oinky Doink Cafe. Unfortunately, it's not all Ipwins and omelet weiss, as the Akiba maid industry is serious business. Sure, there's taking orders, serving customers, but there's also gambling, bribery, assassination, maid-on-maid violence, and so much more that's expected of Akiba's strongest soldiers. If that sounds interesting, go watch it yourself, and come back when you're done. Either just the first episode, or the whole thing, who knows. I'll still be here. Or if you just want to hear my thoughts, like final thoughts, skip to the end. Alright, welcome back. So, first off, this show has an almost perfect first episode. If they didn't show the flashback of a maid getting gunned down in 84 and saved the opening to the end, it would be an insane first episode twist. And honestly, it would have kept us better in the shoes of the protagonist, not knowing anything about like how Akiba maids actually go about their lives. I'm not saying the first episode's bad, I'm just saying it could have been a lot better. Anyway, let's just go through it, because I want to talk about the first episode in length. So, Nagomi gets the big job at the old pigsty. We meet her co-workers, there's the manager, there's a panda, there's like the store idol Yumechi, and the gal Shiba. But Nagomi isn't the only maid starting work today, since there's also Renko Manu. She's a 35-year-old ex-con, and she's awesome. But she's also starting today. And it starts out normal. Both aren't very good at the whole maid cafe work thing. Nagomi's a bit of a girl failure, and Ronko's not very expressive. She does her best, but kind of stone-faced. And it's all going relatively fine until this guy shows up. And he starts asking for the honey money that the cafe owes him. Well, I think in the first episode they call them party favors, but it gets relocalized a couple times. And this is where the vibe starts to change. So it goes from cutesy maid cafe to like something a little more serious. Like, why is this guy asking a maid cafe for the honey money, like fucking bribes, right? Anyway, the cafe is flat broke, so they're like, we don't have it. And he's like, okay, fine. So here's what we're gonna do instead. You're gonna send your new girls over to Love Love Moonbeam, and they're gonna take care of something for us. Turns out, the issue is the Moon Rabbit Cafe itself, as they're asked to deliver a letter to the manager, who is introduced like this.
Are you shitting me? Straight from the fucking roots, goddammit!
is honestly kind of cool. The way that they like they're doing like the Yakuza cutting off a finger, but instead it's a pigtail. It's a nice symbolism because, you know, the Maid Cafe is pig themed. You know. Anyway, the letter they deliver, it says, well, this.
Yo, roaches with your stupid antenna. Prepare to be exterminated. From everyone at Oinky Doink Cafe.
And understandably, it's the Love manager hopping mad. And as she starts to get violent toward Nagomi, all gloves are off. The show's facade completely drops, and this would have been a perfect moment as like this is what it's really like in Akiba. If they didn't have the fucking intro where the girl gets gunned down in the streets in 84. Because Ranko blowing this maid's head smooth off. Meanwhile, Nagomi is like fucking developing PTSD in real time. Anyway, she's like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Grabs Nagomi and they run. The rabbits give chase, of course. This sets up one of my favorite scenes in the show. Meanwhile, back at the farm, the other maids are setting up like a little idol performance for their regulars. In this idol performance is paralleled, like the music is played throughout, but the shots of them like hitting, like dancing in the cafe is paralleled with Ranko absolutely stunting on the rabbits. Fucking just wiping out their entire squad. All while hitting fucking like idol dance moves. It's insane. Meanwhile, Nagomi is like flashed to like covered in blood, watching her fucking develop shell shock in real time. And it was about right here.
Allow me to send you off, mistress.
Where I realized that Ranko is perfect. Just the way she fucking hits this move while executing this rabbit's insane. That's basically the first episode. The rest of it's pretty mundane. They just go back to the cafe. They're like, holy shit, you live? And then Nagomi, still covered in blood, is like, holy shit, I gotta hit the bricks. I gotta get the fuck out of here, bro. But unfortunately, she is stopped by Ranko because they're roommates and she's very scary. And that first episode perfectly demonstrates what I love about Akiba Maid War. I love that it plays itself entirely seriously, no matter how goofy the premise is. Like, they could, like, it goes on to the second episode, and Nagomi, having fucking actual real PTSD, goes out for a walk and makes a friend with a rival Maid. And as the voice of reason, Nagomi is like, why the fuck are we killing each other? This is so fucked up. Meanwhile, the girlie she's talking to is like, yeah, that's just how it is in Akiba, man. You gotta be ready to die for this shit. Like, apart from Nagomi being the voice of reason of, maybe we shouldn't kill each other, everyone else is like, no, this is just how it is. And they play this entirely seriously the entire time. The entire show is a bit. It's what if the Maid Cafe industry was just the Yakuza, right? But it's taken so seriously in the writing. Like, every cafe is either alien or creature themed for most of the show, and then it's all creature themed because the aliens get fucking wiped out, blew up their entire quadrant. And every animal, like every different cafe will have an animal theme, and each one will just fit little like puns and jokes into the way that they talk. So like you barely notice it sometimes. Like there's a cow themed cafe, and they'll fucking hit shit like this.
Oh, you sure got me the other day, ugly pig face.
Entirely seriously. Nothing like, nobody's going, we hit the pun. It's just like, that's just how they speak, and it's fucking insane. And then they'll hit the craziest one-liners delivered, absolutely straight-faced. Like these.
Careful now or you might start sounding like a real maid. Now get ready to become a Stardust memory.
Now you go tell the other creatures. Nagomi Wahira is in mourning. Tell them I'm black pork now.
I got a damn hole in my pouch.
And I know I use the dub for these examples, but I've seen this in both Japanese and English, and it's the same idea in both. They fucking had a blast localizing this, I bet. Which is sad because the dub, it's okay. The dub's not the best. It was produced, I think, by Sentai for High Dive. And the voice actors all do decent enough jobs. They feel a little flat at times. But it's still worth watching, especially if you don't like reading. I know, it's scary. Subtitles are scary. The dub is fine. It works. It does its job. It has a little more fun. They say, it has a little more fun. Now, the plot on the other hand, I wish I could say the plot is as good as the writing. And I know what you're saying, but the plot is the writing. And I mean, like, the dialogue and stuff. Because the plot, it's good. But if you peel away that veneer of parfaits and animal headbands, it's fairly generic Yakuza drama. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't have its moments, especially with like how they world build. Like literally they have a festival that like the family's trying to rig, so the cafe that the head of the family like runs wins the big festival, gets all the revenue and shit. Where they climb a statue of Lady O Moe, which is just like big Moe. And there's like, yeah, she was the first maid in Japan ever. And they just build this lore completely off the dome. So it's not like bad writing. It's just like the plot isn't bad. It's just once you peel away that veneer, it's just generic. And the episodes start out fairly like episodic almost, just going through like hitting all the greats of the like underbelly of Yakuza, right? Like you see there's a Maid themed gambling den that they end up going to because the manager gambled all their cash away. There's a Maid themed underground boxing ring with throwing fights and like a whole, you throw this fight, we'll pay you billions of dollars. It's basically just Megalobox, but with maids. It's like Maidalobox, which is really good. I actually really like that episode because it gives me Rocco's smile, and I would die for that. But it's kind of just there, or not. It's not just kind of just there. It's fairly generic, but it uses the comedy of it being maids to really carry it. And while the first few episodes are fairly episodic, it does slowly build an overarching plot. Like introducing Nagomi's girlfriend, the alien maid girl, who's like, that's just how shit is here, You gotta be ready to die. I don't know what to tell you. And introducing like Miss Creature, who's the head honcho of the family. Yes, that is what they call her. They call her Miss Creature. Episode 4 even gives us lore into the Creatureland group itself by having a trainer set to the farmhouse. Whips them into shape, gives them a little brainwashing to worship the company, give them the honey money instead of, taking care of their masters and, providing the best experience possible. And it even provides like, in the first few episodes, even provide characters moments to have their own like big moments. Like the gambling one lets Yumechi have a big brain moment even though she was fucking absolutely wrong. Or Ronko getting to box out fucking Zoya in the boxing ring. It's very cool. But the plot really doesn't get moving until about episode 5, where they have one more like episodic thing to set up the last domino in the setting up the consequences of our actions sort of thing. Episode 5 is also my favorite because it's Ronko's birthday, and I would be there. I would clear my schedule, I would be there the entire day. And this episode is cool because we do get to see more of the dynamic of the cafes inside the Creatureland group as opposed to outside, as we've seen before, where the pigs are at the bottom of the food chain. And it all comes to a head when they go to the sheep cafe to ask for like help advertising, and she's like, "Oh, you're turning 36? That's insane. I'm the only one allowed to be the birthday girl today though. So you're gonna have to die." And she tries to like drown them in tomato juice. They get saved and they of course fucking wipe out the sheep for some reason. They also take their cash, which will be important. But they also like have sweet moments where Ronko's like, I'm really happy I got to celebrate my birthday today. It's very nice. And then finally, in the next, I guess from then on, we get to see those dominoes that we set up, the elimination of Wolf Moonbeam, the betrayal of the sheep cafe. We get to see those finally fall as one of the former higher-ups of the Maid alien group, I think her name is like Crimson Supernova, that's what they call her, gets out of jail and is like, y'all have not taken action against this individual? Are you kidding me? It's like 5 people. We could slime them out tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Maid alien group is like, maybe violence isn't the answer and we could just make money instead. But she is like, no, we kill. And so they have this big fight, and then they get wiped out, of course. The Maid alien group gets fucking rolled and absorbed. And it is a really good arc, because it kills off Nagomi's girlfriend after they get made married. And then it kind of drops the ball a little bit, because it goes right back to once the Crimson Supernova is dealt with, it goes right back to like business as usual almost, with the fucking Maid aliens being absorbed and turned into axolotls. And they're like, y'all are gonna play baseball. And it's fine. I like the Maid alien arc just because it's like, we get to see the consequences of the characters' actions actually happen, instead of it just being oh well that was then, you know, we all forgive you type of thing. I just wish they did it more often, because right after the merger, like once Maid alien is wiped out and made into creatures, they just kind of play baseball, and literally like almost everyone is like, they're just trying to play fair baseball. We should be friends, or not like we should be friends, but like maybe we should take the moral high road and like be good friends with them, or at least just play baseball with them. Oh god. And then they move on to like problems within the Creatureland group and not just with the aliens. But it's good. The plot's fine. Nagomi is like the moral backbone. She's like, guys, since when was being a maid about killing each other and not like providing a good customer experience? And everyone else is like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. We should kill each other now. In terms of like big emotional moments, there's quite a few that's actually worth mentioning. There's of course the death of Nagomi's girlfriend we talked about. There's an episode where Ronko like falls in love with an assassin who fell in love with her. They go on a cute little date and he's like, we should run away together so I don't have to kill you. And they almost do it too, except that we get the fucking panda's backstory, and it turns out the panda killed like Ronko's boss. You know, in the flashback in 84, that's the panda. And she was almost killed by the assassin guy, and then the assassin guy was told to kill Ronko, but he's like, I'm not gonna do it. And they're about to run away together. Literally, Ronko is waiting. She didn't take her gun with her. Literally, Ronko is waiting at the station, and he's about to go there. He's pulling a ring out of his pocket to be like, I'm gonna propose to her. And then fucking bam, Okachimachi shoots him in the back. And he goes down. It's so sad. And then there's also Ronko's death, which is just like, she's like, I'm gonna give myself up for the cafe. And then after a long conversation with the boss, it's like, just go home to your fucking pigsty. Don't come back here. She's like, thank you, boss. And then in the next, like, within the next day, she's fucking stabbed in the streets. It's punch. It really knows how to reel you in and then punch you right in the gut. The characters, they're all fine. The main characters, Nagomi, Ronko, and Miss Creature, they have a decent amount of depth and grow fairly well in the supporting cast, or at least most of them. Miss Creature's whole thing is that she doesn't want to grow. She doesn't. Everyone else is like, maybe violence isn't the answer, and her whole thing is like, actually, we should kill more people. But she serves her purpose. It's really good. And they all serve their purpose well. They get big moments. You know, like I said, Okachimaji's backstory, or Zoya in the boxing episode, where she's like, I wasn't allowed to have cute things as a child, so now I want to be a maid, but I'm not cute enough to be a maid. And Ronko was all like, I look hella cute right now, girl. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, they're all pretty good. The villains, they vary in quality. Some are literally just cannon fodder to be killed by the end of the episode, but a lot of the bigger ones, like Crimson Supernova, Nagi, they're all decent. The various others that don't just get popped are kind of just mean girls, or they're not around enough to matter. Now, that's all fine and good, right? The plot, the writing, all of that, that's all good. But does it stick the landing? Is the ending good? I would say yes. The ending is, Miss Creature is like, we're gonna fucking wipe out these pigs. They bring 26 guys, or sorry, 26 maids into the pig pen, and they're like, we're gonna kill you all. And they go, hear me out. What if you didn't do that, and instead you just have a nice time at our maid cafe? And they do for a little bit. Nagomi gets like shot, and then is like, why the fuck are we killing each other, guys? Like, actually, this is so fucking dumb. And then, meanwhile, fucking Miss Creature is like, cause you need to die? It's pretty simple. And everyone else is like, you know, Nagi, you're kind of like a little insane, actually. And eventually they turn on her and kill her. And then right at the very end, there's a flash forward scene to 2018, where two of Narula's regulars, who had become Nagomi's regulars after, you know, she gets killed in the streets, come in and are like, yeah, so there's this 36-year-old maid, you gotta check her out. She's our Oshi, dude. We gotta see this. And it shows Nagomi in a fucking wheelchair after she was shot. All of Ronko's, like, most precious treasures, like pictures they've taken together and stuff, are on the wheels. It's so cute. It goes full circle. She becomes the 36-year-old maid. It's very nice. I'd say it does stick the landing. I probably didn't do it justice with my explanation of it, which is why you should watch it yourself, but it definitely sticks the landing. The soundtrack? It's alright. The insert songs really shine, both the one in episode 1 and the song that Ronko sings on her birthday, which is so nice. She does the ending for that. And it fucking Nagomi even sings it in the final episode when she gets shot. It's so good. The OP's fine. It serves its purpose. It's an opening. It's kind of catchy in the end part. It's good. For me personally, it was to watch it once and then skip it every other time. But it's good. The ED is great though. It really fits the Yakuza vibe. It's an older style ballad, but all the lyrics are still about being a maid. Like, I think the first line is like, something 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 moe moe q. It's very nice. The visuals are surprisingly good and fairly consistent. The show just looks nice. It's very colorful, very like in your face. But sometimes it just has like the most, especially for action, it has like the most random, like there's a building that explodes in episode 2. Blows up their entire quadrant. And it has like the most insane impact frame for no reason. But it's good. All in all, Akiba Maid War, it puts a dark comedic spin on mafia dramas. It's got violence, blood, love, betrayal, and revenge, all wrapped up in an apron and ready to welcome you back to the pigsty. It gets a 10 out of 10 from me, and I absolutely recommend you watch it for yourself. It's a very fun 4 hours. Next week, we'll be looking at Erased, which is available for streaming on Hulu, Disney Plus, and Crunchyroll. Until then, I'm a man who wore a cat maid outfit to a convention, and this has been my first anime review. And don't forget,
Think, dream big, go, go!